Hi! So if you're watching this, you're probably my mother. This is a really good foundational video, as well as anyone else who's got lower back issues. Really great for mobilizing the body as well. So we are going to start on our hands and knees, which is a really beautiful position for those with back injury. It helps you to have a really nice neutral spine. So we're standing on our hands and knees. So let's head on to our hands and knees. So starting here, we're really warming up the whole body here. So let's just go through our 4-point kneeling pose. So our hands are going to be underneath our shoulders. This is really important. Knees underneath our hips. We're spreading our fingers out nice and wide and just actively pressing all of your fingers into the floor. Imagine drawing the belly button up towards the spine and then lifting the rib cage up towards the ceiling. So the back of the rib cage is going to be lifted. Now for our first exercise, we're going to be tucking the toes. As you inhale, we're engaging the core, lifting up through the back of the rib cage towards the ceiling to press up into a downward dog, or in Pilates, it's a controlled front position. So we're tucking the toes, pressing up into a pike. We're pressing the hands into the floor and the hips are sitting back. Exhale, lower down to the floor. Back into our nice neutral 4-point kneeling pose. So once again, inhale, keep the toes tucked, press all fingers in towards the floor, sit the hips up nice and high. Lower down to the toe. We're going to do this for 3 more. So really warming up through the shoulders. Inhale, keep the toes tucked, press all your hands into the floor, lift your back of your chest up towards the ceiling, pressing the heels into the floor, and lowering back down. So we want to keep the belly button towards the spine, even as we lower down towards the floor and lift up into that pike. Take an inhale here, exhale, lower down to the floor. Last one. Exhale, lower the heels down towards the floor. Inhale, then exhale. Bring the knees down towards the floor. All right, just roll the shoulders around. Coming back to our 4-point kneeling. Just going into some hip extensions. So bringing the left knee in towards the center so it's between the 2 hands. And reaching the right leg back. So lifting the back of the chest up towards the ceiling. Lengthening out through the toes. And then coming back in. So we're not lifting the leg here. We want to start building that foundational strength. So with a lower back injury, if you try to lift that leg and you don't have the core strength to keep that belly button lifting, you're going to be flexing through that lumbar spine, which is not what we're looking for. So keeping that leg nice and straight, bring it back to the center, and then extending out. And we're still lifting that belly button up towards the spine, pressing all the fingers in towards the floor. Elbows stay unlocked, but the arms are straight. Inhale, bring it back to center. Exhale, extend it behind you for 2 more. And we're switching sides. So right knee comes towards the center now. Left knee extends behind you, belly button towards the spine, lifting the back of the chest towards the ceiling. And you can see that my neck is in line with my back as well. So we're not hunching the head or stooping the head, and our eyes aren't forward. The chin is gently tucked in, gazing towards the floor. For 5 more. We're drawing that kneecap up, hips stay nice and square towards the floor. Three more. All right, and we can bring those legs back into that normal position. So bring the knees to hip distance apart. We're just tucking the toes and pressing back into a partial cow. Oh, not cow, what is this? This is a prayer stretch. So toes stay tucked, just reaching the hands forward. Taking a few breaths here. And we're coming back into that 4-point kneeling. Now here we're just going to start learning to transfer the weight and stay nice and stable through the pelvis and build that foundational core strength. So we're tapping one hand to the shoulder as controlled as possible. Pressing the belly button up towards the spine. All the fingers press towards the floor. For 4 more. Good. I'm just going to roll the shoulders around. So just pressing them forward and back, give them a little bit of a stretch. And then we're coming onto our side for some side lying glute exercises. We're only doing a few side lying glute exercises just to start to build up that core strength. So starting lying on our side, I like to use the front of my mat as a guide. So the knees come to the front of the mat and then the feet are also lined up in the front of the mat. Your knees are in line with your hips. This is going to work through those deep hip rotators, so where your underbutt is. So we're inhaling. As you exhale, squeezing the heels, just opening the knee up, and then inhale to close. And we're keeping that really beautiful gap in the waist and the floor, so you can press your hip away, so you can feel there should be just a little gap between the side of the waist and the floor, and that'll make sure your core is still engaged as you're doing this. So remembering, exhale to open, squeeze the glutes, keep the hips square on top of one another. If those hips start to rotate backwards this way, you want to decrease that range of motion, bring the hips into alignment, and then close. So keeping that movement small to make sure that the hips aren't moving and the glutes are working the whole time. Last one. Hold that knee open. We're lifting that heel up towards the ceiling and then tapping the toe. So really greasing up the hips, getting them nice and juicy. So exhale, open up. Inhale, close. So getting some really nice mobility through the hips and through the glutes. 3, 2, last one. Close that knee. We're bringing the arms forward for a nice spinal stretch. So open up just as far as feels safe for you. So we're inhaling to open the arm up. Exhale, extend the arm behind you. And close. So we're inhaling to open. Exhale to extend the arm behind you. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale, close it off. So this one is called book openings. So it literally is like you're opening a book with your arms. Keeping that core engaged. Last one. And we'll alternate sides, so we're doing the other glute now. Okay, so remembering here, we're lining up our knees with the front of the mat. So knees at the front, feet are at the front, and then our hips are also in line with our knees. Our first exercise is those clam threes. So just inhale, squeeze the heels together, squeeze the glutes. Exhale, open up, remembering you've got that gap in the waist and the floor. Keeping the core engaged. Sometimes it might help you to just place your finger where you're trying to work to really activate that mind-muscle connection. Three, 2. On this last one, we're holding up, so exhale. Breathe, inhale, exhale, open up that foot. Toes come towards the ceiling. Inhale to close. For 4. 3, 2, and last one. And close that leg off. Arms come in front of you, palms on top of one another. Really nice stretch here. Inhale to open up. Exhale, stretch the arm across. Remembering our breathing pattern here, we're opening on our inhale. Exhale, reach the arm in line with the body. Inhale, return in line. Exhale, back to the starting point. And 2 more. Protecting that back by tucking the belly button towards the spine. Last one, inhale. Exhale, reach behind you. Exhale to close. And we are going to roll onto our back. And just starting with our feet together. So our first move is a very basic pelvic and core stabilization. As you inhale, we will lower one knee towards the side. Exhale to bring it back, and then squeezing the knees together. Belly button comes in towards the spine. Inhale, lower. Exhale, flatten the rib cage down towards the hips to bring the leg back. And again, inhale to open. Exhale, flatten the rib cage down to return the leg back. Squeeze the knees together. Now take your hands to your hips. And on your next rep, just feel where your hips go. The goal here is to have the hips as flat as possible. So they're like headlights. You want them to be parallel as they shoot towards the ceiling. But if you find you can't do that, just decreasing the range of motion. So you might need to just bring the knee out to the side a little bit. Exhale to bring it back. One more each side. Inhale, lower the knee. Exhale to straighten. Squeeze the knees together. And you can take those hands by the side again. And we're just lifting the foot off the floor into tabletop. So inhale, lift. Legs in tabletop, shins parallel to the floor. Exhale, lower it down as controlled as possible back to that starting position. And alternating sides. So inhale to lift, flatten the belly button down towards the spine. Exhale, lower down, flattening the rib cage. And inhale, lift. For 3 more. Inhale, lift. Come on, do it. up here. Alright. Oh. So from here, we are going to add on to this movement. What to be? Alright, so we're doing this with the dog in our lap apparently. So we have got our feet together, we're inhaling, lift the leg up, exhale, flatten the ribcage down, tap the toe to the floor, lift, and then lower it all the way back down. Then we're just alternating sides. Inhale, lift, exhale to lower, back to the floor. So inhaling to lift, flatten that ribcage down, tap the toe nice and controlled, lifting and then lowering. So this whole time we're flattening that ribcage down, not flaring through the ribcage. And controlling that whole movement. Last one. On each side anyway. Inhale, lift. Exhale, tap to the floor. And we've got one more exercise here to really warm up through the abs. Just going through a very basic ab curl. So keeping those legs together. Hands come behind the head. Alright, we are inhaling at the bottom. Exhale, glide the ribs towards the hips. The chin stays tucked in. Eyes gaze toward the knees. Inhale, lower down. We want to keep the elbows nice and wide and the chin stays tucked in. Go on. So chin stays tucked in, eyes gaze forward, pressing the knees together. Drawing the ribcage down, flattening it out. For one more. And our last position is going to be a standing pose. So coming to our side, arms come forward whether or not you have the ring, and we're pressing the hands together, palms facing one another. Take a slight bend through the legs, and our stabilizing leg is our left leg, so we're sending the right leg back. Pressing the ring together. The hips sit over the heel. For 4, 3, 2, exhale, extend, last one. Now from here, we're coming straight into a lift foot. So inhale, and then as you exhale, bringing that right knee up into a tabletop position, and then down to the floor. All the while, pressing our hands together for 4. Belly button in towards the spine, squeezing the glute for that stabilizing leg. 2. And let's switch sides. We're going straight into the other leg of those scooters. Slight bend through the legs. Inhale, engage your core, belly button towards the spine, chin gently tucked in. Scooter backwards. Exhale to come back, the weight stays over the heel. Good, 3 more. From here, so the last one, we're going straight into those lift foots. Inhale, engage your core, belly button towards the spine, squeeze those hands together. Exhale, lift up, and lower it back down to the floor for 5 more. We're really using our abs to bring this leg up rather than focusing on those hip flexors or the quads to bring the leg up. 3 more. Squeeze the glute with the stabilizing leg. And you can release the arms. The chest definitely got a little bit sore during that one. So that is the end. That was a little close, wasn't it? So that is the end of my workout for lower back rehabilitation.